a portal to the hyperdimensional matrix. And after you do that, after you go through the 9 rites of initiation of the Munay-ki, then you can begin to dream the world into being, to dream the world that we want our children's children to inherit. The Munay-ki is a series of 9 transmissions that you receive as seeds. They are seeds that enter into the soil of your luminous energy field. They are gifted to you by another, as you will be able to gift onto others as well. But only in the form of seeds. Seeds that each one of us must grow into great big ears of corn, into fruit-bearing trees. It is up to each one of us to grow these seeds. There are 4 fundamental transmissions of the Munay-ki. The first one awakens the seer within you. Awakens the seer and the ability to see into the invisible world of energy and spirit. The second awakens the healer and the healing power of your hands. And it also launches you in a process of personal healing. The third aspect are protections, energetic protections, so that we can walk fearlessly and with beauty in the world. And the fourth is a connection to a lineage. The Munay-ki connects us to a lineage of wisdom keepers, of earth keepers from the past and the future, of luminous beings who have transcended their status and their state as mortals and have become angelic. This is the lineage that works with you and through you. Men and women from the past and the future. The Earth Keepers understand that the universe manifests at 4 different levels. It's helpful to think of these 4 levels as Russian nesting dolls. Dolls that nest within each other, informing the levels within. The first of these levels is the level of the body, the physical, literal level, which is enveloped by the level of the mind that informs the body. We know that the mind creates psychosomatic disease and that it can create psychosomatic health. Enveloping and informing the mind and the body is the soul, the level of the soul, or of myth, of the sacred. And enveloping and informing all of these is the level of spirit. Each of these levels has its own language. The level of the body, of matter, its language is biochemical, molecules and atoms. The level of mind, the language are words. The level of the soul has the language of images, of poetry, of fire, of drums, of music. The level of spirit, its language is energy, pure energy and intention. The Munay-ki, the initiation rites, operate at the level of spirit and utilize the language of energy, which then informs the soul, informs our mind and our belief systems, informs our body and our behaviors. When we bring change about at the level of spirit, at the blueprint level of our being, our soul changes, our minds change, our bodies change, and the world around us is transformed. At the level of the body, reality is 99% matter and 1% consciousness. At the level of spirit, reality is 99% consciousness and 1% matter. The closer to the level of spirit that we intervene, the more powerful that our intervention is. We know that we cannot fix an emotional wound by going shopping. And we also know that we cannot resolve a problem at the level at which it was created. It has to be resolved at the level above. The Earth Keeper understands that there's a spiritual solution, there's an energetic solution to every problem that we face. And that when we work and operate from the level of spirit, from the level of source, we have extraordinary assistance available to us. The Munay-ki offers us the opportunity, the possibility to take up permanent residence at the domain of spirit. We remain eminently effective in the world, but are no longer owned or possessed by it. We are in the world, but not of it. The Earth Keeper understands that there are 4 steps in the awakening of our spirit or God consciousness. The first is that God is outside of us, and that we must placate and make offerings to this God. The second is that God is within us. The third level is that God operates through us and works through us. And the fourth is that God or Spirit works as us. That you and I are God masquerading as ourselves. And while it's easy for us to comprehend this concept, the Munay-ki brings this understanding to a cellular level, a visceral level, where we know that we are spirit, dreaming the world into being, and we choose to dream a sacred dream. When we operate from the level of spirit, we have luminous beings available to us, angels, archangels, medicine men and women, Buddhas, Christ-like beings from the past and the future, ready and willing and able to work with us, to work through us, to work as us, to create the kind of world that we want our children's children to inherit, to dream a healed and whole world into being. These are the processes of the Munay-ki, and they begin with creating sacred space. In the West, we think of sacred spaces as places, as churches, synagogues, places where we worship. For the Earth Keeper, the entire world is sacred. But you learn that you can create a sacred space, which is a micro-universe in which the ordinary laws of time and space are temporarily suspended. And that you can do that by calling on the 4 directions, by coming into proper relationship with the 4 corners of the world, with the south, the west, the north, the east, and with heaven and earth. We come into alignment with the 4 directions of our ordinary world, with the world above us, the heavens, with the mother, the feminine, the earth below us. This connects us to the ecosphere, to the sphere of nature. And the Earth Keepers understood that when they saluted the 4 directions, north, south, east, west, that they were saluting the 4 fundamental principles of creation. The 4 fundamental forces known to physics are gravity, electromagnetism, the strong and the weak nuclear force. Everything in physical creation is made up of these 4 fundamental forces. Biologists have also recognized that there are 4 fundamental principles that constitute all of life. That all of the poetry of creation is written with an alphabet that has only 4 letters in it. These 4 letters are the 4 base